What is going on, guys? It is the ProdigyCraft here, back with round 5 of Formula 1 2024 career mode. Today we are doing the Chinese Grand Prix. I'm going to do a little bit of a different format for this video. We're going to be skipping through practice and heading straight from here into qualifying. So the reason for that is I've received a little bit of feedback and I think that's the right way to go. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be skipping practice. I am going to be going into practice and putting a custom setup on the car, doing my practice sessions and my practice programs. But you are going to be joining me at the start of Q1, so we can get straight to the meat and potatoes and leave out all the boring stuff that potentially F1 fans or non-F1 fans are not interested in. So join me as we get into qualifying 1. So, as I said, join me as we're going into qualifying 1. I actually mean join me as we go into sprint qualifying.
Now here's something we haven't said for a little while. Welcome along to qualifying in China. After a few years absence from the calendar, it is great to be back here. But just who is going to put their car on pole?
Right, here we are in SQ1 sprint qualifying. It is pouring down with rain and everyone is going out on the soft tyres. I'm not quite sure why that is the case. I myself am going to go out on a set of intermediates in this rain, and then we'll see how we get on compared to the rest of the field. So let's get a lap in. Okay, where has that lap put us? It's put us 4.5 seconds quicker than everyone on around us because they're all going on dry tyres in the rain. So we'll skip forward here and see what happens. Right, the track is obviously drying out. I don't know how much it's drying out. It doesn't really look like it's drying out much. But there are soft times going up on the board that are quicker. So I guess what we will do is we will just go out on a set of soft tyres. Okay, and that's P1 at the end of SQ1. We were the last ones out on a set of soft tyres, so not too bad there. I'm sure the gap's pretty big at the top. Right, 2.5 seconds the gap at the top there. Oh wait, we only have a set of mediums. That's interesting. We used our soft tyres. We messed up. P10 over the line. Jesus. Does that mean we make it through?
With qualifying wrapped up now, we have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will
we only just make it through, knocking out Kevin Magnussen. It is not the grid lineup for tomorrow. We still have SQ3, so I'm not too sure what Crofty is talking about. And we only have a set of medium tyres to do it. Okay, so all we could manage for SQ3 was 7th position on a set of mediums. Let's get straight into the sprint race.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. We're here in the Yangtze River Delta today, home of the 16 corners that make up the Shanghai International Circuit. 54% of this 3.3 mile lap is taken at full throttle, and we'll be getting up to speeds of around 200 miles per hour with DRS assistance down the back straight before the cars break into the tight hairpin at turn 14. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Jackson, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Sargent, Magnussen, Stroll, Joe, Gasly, Ocon, Perez, Bottas, Tsunoda, Albon, and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And alongside me, a man, well, what more can I say? But he's a legend. Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. As we all know, every single driver wants to know what's required of them, and in the case of this driver, I think things are pretty stable at the moment. They're doing what the team require.
Well, that's the thing, you know, as a driver, it's easy to feel like you're the individual, it's all about you, and, you know, you want to further your career the best you can, but you have to have the team hat on as well and play the team game, work with your teammate as best you can. It's not an easy balance to figure out.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Not a bad sprint race.
That's the end of the
P6.
race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
On to qualifying now. Right, let's just get straight out there and get a lap on the board. Go out on a set of soft tyres. A 1:33.2, topping the timing sheets into Q1. That's not too bad. I am pretty happy with that. Let's see where that puts us at the end of the session. So at the end of Q1 it is Max Verstappen P1, Lewis Hamilton P2, George Russell P3, and myself slotting in P11 with a 1:33.295. Kevin Magnussen there getting knocked out in 17th position. He'll be unhappy with that. Let's see if we can make it through to Q3. A 1:33.128. Is that going to be good enough to get us through to Q3? I guess we will have to see. And at the end of qualifying 2, it is Lewis Hamilton P1, Max Verstappen P2, Charles Leclerc P3, with us slotting in P4. Let's see what happens in Q3. Who's going to get pole position? Let's find out. A 1:32.864. That's our best lap of the weekend. and we've pulled it out in Q3. What a place to do it. If there is going to be any time to pull your best lap out, it is now. Let's see where that's going to put us for tomorrow's race.
With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once again. It's a race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first win with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt there's plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before we head into the braking zone of turn 14. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Sainz, Jackson, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Norris, Sargent, Albon, Fernando Alonso, Joe, Bottas, Gasly, Magnussen, Tsunoda, Ocon, Ricciardo, and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Well, it's been a long time since I last worked with you. Good to see you again today. Anthony Davidson. As we all know, every single driver wants to know what's required of them. And in the case of this driver, I think things are pretty stable at the moment. They're doing what the team require.
Well, that's the thing, you know, as a driver, it's easy to feel like you're the individual. It's all about you. And, you know, you want to further your career the best you can, but you have to have the team hat on as well and play the team game, work with your teammate as best you can. It's not an easy balance to figure out.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So the start lights are on, and we have 5 lights ahead of the Chinese Grand Prix, and it's go, go, go off the line, and immediately we get a great start there. So does Sainz ahead of us. We're sticking ourselves in between. It looks like Russell and Verstappen. Dangerous place to put the car, but we're making it work. And we are right in the middle of what could potentially be quite a dangerous sandwich there. We're bumping wheels with Russell. We've got Russell on our outside. We're trying to gain traction out of turn 2 there. And it looks like we've managed to get ahead of Russell, ahead of Hamilton on the start there. The two Mercedes behind us side by side, and we're tucking just behind Verstappen. Russell behind getting ahead. It's Russell, Hamilton, battling for position there between the Mercedes, but we've tucked in behind Verstappen there in P4. Carlos Sainz ahead and Charles Leclerc leading the race. Good opening lap there from myself, and I'm not sure where Kevin Magnussen is, but it looks like, looking down the field, he's made some positions up from the start. So as long as we can keep it in this position, it's going to be keeping ahead of the two Mercedes, but the fighting behind between Hamilton and Russell is still going on all the way towards the end of this lap, and that's allowed us to get over a second gap, which is going to be crucial when the DRS zone comes to a pass. And it is lap 5 now. We've got Hamilton behind over 3.6 seconds, and there's Sainz going after Verstappen there. They're wheel to wheel, banging wheels there. You can see a little bit of debris flying off. Not sure if that's come off Carlos Sainz or Verstappen, but what that's allowed is us to get right on the back of this battle, and we're nearly going into the back of Sainz there. As we head into the final corner, I'm surprised we did not make contact there. Sainz looking to the outside of Verstappen into this sweeping turn 1, getting ahead again. We're trying to get our nose up, right up the inside of Verstappen there. We've caught him napping. Can we get Carlos Sainz? He pushes us all the way to the curb. We can't. We're on the outside of Sainz now. Can we get him in the traction zone? He looks like he just stays ahead of us, but we go to the left of him here. He's slow off the corner on them medium tyres. We have a little bit of contact there, and we go right down the inside, and we make the move stick there on Carlos Sainz. We're into position 2 in this race at lap 16, and now Sainz is fighting to keep the position from Verstappen.
Okay, mate.
The engine is running hot, we're getting told by our race engineer here, and we skip forward to lap 7. This is our pit lap. Position 2, we've got Verstappen up behind us. It looks like he's going to be getting DRS down this straight here on the back. We are going to be boxing at the end of this lap. as we head in now. And oh, we've lost traction there, and we have lost positions to Verstappen, Sainz, and now we're losing positions to Piastri, Hamilton, Russell, and we've got Norris on our inside here. What a mistake to make there. Unforced error, going over the curbs, losing traction there. That is an absolutely terrible mistake, and now we've got Norris ahead of us. He gets the DRS open, we get the DRS open, and then look at him, he just starts to deploy his battery and pull away from us there. We've got Perez on our outside, and we try and deep on the brakes there, and it looks like we may have outbraked Norris, which is worked out quite well for us, and you're going to see us peel off into the pit lane here. And we're going to try and get a decent stop. We're following Hamilton into the pits, and it looks like we've got Norris coming in behind us too. And I'm not sure if that's Verstappen also in the pits, but what an error to make. Unforced out of second position, coming over the curbs and just losing traction on the hard compound tyre. That is not great for us as we find our pit box here. Hoping for a quick stop here from the Haas team onto the medium tyre, and we are being howled. We're being howled in the pit lane, and that allows us to come out inside of Lewis Hamilton, but it looks like we've got Norris behind here, so it's going to be about damage limitation now. We're going to be trying to get Hamilton as quickly as we can, as he's got the warm-up phase on this medium compound tyre, but already it looks like he's quicker, able to get the rubber down and pull out of the corner as we skip forward to lap 9 here. Hamilton and Sainz going wheel to wheel. Sorry, Russell and Sainz, and Hamilton making the most of that, really getting up on the back of these two. Russell and Sainz side by side into the final corner there, and they're all slow out of there. Hamilton having to get on the brakes, meaning we can get on the inside there. We set the fastest lap of the race, but so does Fernando Alonso behind. We've managed to get Hamilton here. Are we going to try the same move on Russell we did on Verstappen? We're looking up the inside there. We're side by side with Russell. Are we going to be able to make it stick? He's still on our outside there, but as we come out of the traction zone, we're still side by side with Russell here, and he actually gets the nose ahead. Now it's front wheels to rear wheels, but we have the inside line into the next corner as long as we're heavy on the brakes. We try and avoid any contact, and it looks like we are able to get Russell. We sort of cut him off there, force him to pull out of the move. Next up on the road is Sainz, who's on the hard compound tyre. We're on the medium, so we do have the tyre advantage over Sainz here. Look, he's slow through this section of track here, and it looks like we're almost pushing him along through this sector here. Verstappen way up the road, 5.3 seconds. He's going to be chasing Charles Leclerc, who is already on the back straight there. And we are coming out now onto the straight, onto this bank curving, what the Chinese track is famous for, but Sainz just pulls away from us. And what we've got to worry about now is Russell behind. We're going to have to defend going down here. We should get DRS, but so should Russell. We're going to be deploying our battery all the way down here. Russell looks to our inside there, and we look to a really deep, late move on the brakes there from myself and Carlos Sainz, and it looks like we managed to get the move done there, up into P3.
Nice work, mate.
Not a bad result, as long as we can hold it. Sainz should hold up Russell there on the hard compound tyre, and you can see that he is. Sainz is much slower there at this phase of the race as we switch forward to lap 14 now, last lap of the race. We've managed to keep the position. Sainz held up Russell as long as he could, but it looks like he fell back down in the position. Now we've got Russell looking to our outside here, DRS wide open on that Mercedes car, and he flies past us there. Are we going to try a move on the brakes? We are. Down the inside, late on the brakes, banging wheels with Russell, but he's still got the outside line, which is going to turn into the inside line to the final corner, and he's going to hold it out, but we're going to hold it round the outside, and it's going to be a drag race to the line, and we just get ahead of Russell, and P3 on the road. Ooh, P3.
Yes, thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a really strong drive and a great finish.
Unbelievable finish. Unbelievable. Whew, that was a hot race.
There'll be smiles at the factory after that one. A great race and a real team performance to take victory here in Shanghai.
And it's always good, Crofty, to get that momentum on your side, and it's really good for your confidence as well. The more confident you are, the further that can take you.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
And just like that, that is the end of episode 5 Formula 1 2024 career mode. Not a bad race, if you ask me. It was okay. It was all right. Not a bad race. We're third in the drivers' standings, which is really good for Haas. We're third in the constructors' standings, which is actually arguably even better. So I'm happy with this episode. The next race is the Miami Grand Prix. I believe that's another sprint weekend, so that should be fun. I'm going to have fun editing this video. Thank you for joining me. And once again, peace out, my friends.